What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Chisme and Chill, where we chismear and we chill. For those of you that don't speak Spanglish, chisme is just a Mexican word for gossip. And today on the roster, we're going to be talking about, well, first and foremost, we need to talk about the new Squid Game, okay? Other than Squid Game, let me make my list. Okay, Squid Game, I do want to get into the Justin Baldoni response to Blake Lively. And then we're also going to talk about the newest of the reality TV world, which right now I think we're doing. I'll be honest with you guys, baddies, I have nothing to say, so I probably won't talk about that. The Last Resort, we will a little bit. And then I want to say, I think, did we talk about Astrovino the last time? Yeah, okay, we already talked about Astrovino. And then there's like nothing to talk about with her. So that's going to be like our starting point, okay? And actually, this was in my son's stocking stuffer this year. Coincidentally enough, this little Squid Game #1 from season 1. So yeah, how fun is that? I'm just gonna prop him right here if he will stay still. For this part of the episode. So Squid Game season 2, let's talk about it. I really liked it. I know the internet they're being haters right now because they left us on a cliffhanger. No, I'm not super happy about the cliffhanger. I was definitely like, what the fuck when like I saw that. But hey, what are you gonna do? Like the quality of the episodes and the actors. Oh my god. I don't know if I just didn't notice that they were this attractive in the first season, or if I'm noticing it more now because of the thirst trap videos on TikTok. But the cop especially is my favorite. The recruiter is number 2. Although he was giving a little bit psycho in that one scene with Ji-hoon. So I don't know about that. But let's see. So Squid Game season 2. If you guys have never seen Squid Game, it is such a good show. It's like a bigger message. Like 456 people are recruited individually because basically this recruiter notices there are people in South Korea that are struggling. They have a gambling problem or a drug problem or just a money management problem, and they owe a lot of money. So he sees these vulnerable people and he recruits them by playing a game with them. He tells them, lets them know, hey, go to this address at this time. So they do get on a bus, go to this mysterious island, and they enter into the Squid Games. And the first game, unbeknownst to them, is a game where if they lose, they die. And it's red light, green light. And they are not told this prior to playing the game in season 1. Okay? They just start playing. Somebody falls down and is like, oops, I moved, and they get shot. So then people start freaking out. What the hell is this? Go back to the room after the game is over. And if you move during red light, you die. If you don't make it across the finish line before 5 minutes, you also die. So anyway, fast forward, they do a vote in season 1 and after the first game. They say you guys don't have to stay. If you do stay, you can win. I think it's like a certain amount per dead body. So at the end of the game, it would equal to 45.6 billion won, which is $31 million. That's not that much. Okay, it's a lot of money. Obviously, it is. But like to be dying over it is crazy. Maybe that just means I value my life a little bit more. But anyway, so season 2 takes place after season 1, obviously, where Ji-hoon had, spoiler alert, major spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Squid Games and you like the way I just described it and you want to watch it, go watch it and then come here, because I'm just going to be speaking freely as if we've all seen season 1 and season 2. So season 1 ends. This is when the spoiler starts. Reminding you again. Where Ji-hoon won all the money, and instead of getting on the plane to go to the US, he decides, you know what? No, I have another plan. And so that's where season 2 starts. He wants to stop the games. First step is to figure out where the recruiter's at. So he hires all these people to find the recruiter. He kind of describes what he looks like and says, you're going to see him playing this game. I don't know what it's called. Dakji. Okay, Dakji, which is a game where it's like one paper and another paper, like red and blue, and they're like origami shaped, so they're like flat square. And you have to like slap it down and flip the other person's paper over just from slapping yours onto theirs. Okay, so that's the game that the recruiter plays with people. And so Ji-hoon is like, all right, find the people that are playing this game. People couldn't find them. And people, honestly, this is the part that pissed me off, is like, they're thinking that he's crazy. Like, everyone he tells this to is like, okay, like, he's kind of giving cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but, you know, he's giving us all this money, because he was paying them, like, lots of money to go find this person. And he's like, but he's paying us, so let's go look for them. And finally, oh my God, it took years. I think it took years, because they only recruit once a year. But they finally found the recruiter, right? And this recruiter, oh my gosh, he's so handsome, but he's like he is so involved in Squid Games. So you can tell like just the darkness and the message of it, as far as like greed over necessity, like at what point. So you definitely see that while you watch the way that he moves. And then you also see him play a game later on with Ji-hoon where he like, it's like a Russian roulette, and it was, I'm not gonna lie guys, like that had to have been one of the most intense parts of Squid Games, was like this Russian roulette part, because it's so intense. Like I was literally, I'm not gonna say I was on the edge of my seat, I was like on the opposite, like I was like cowered in a ball in my couch, like covering my eyes a little bit. Especially when he like put the gun in his mouth, I was like, oh my God, this dude's crazy. I did not think that he was gonna like cheat and then shoot Ji-hoon. I did think, okay, he's probably gonna lose, because why would the main character die this early on? And he's gonna have to shoot himself. So I kind of saw that coming, but which is fine. No tea, no shade. Some things are predictable, some things are not. Like what should have been predictable is not trusting guy number 1, which I think he just fell. Hold on. Wait, I don't want to get him. Yeah, I don't want to get him. But, because if you watch season 1, you know that number 1 ended up being the creator of the games. And then in season 2, number 1 is the front man. And, the front man is like, what's a good way to describe the front man? I guess like the shot caller. Like, and that's different from number 1 in season 1, because he just made the games, but he didn't really like call the shots. So anyway, the front man decides at one point, like, you know, I'm gonna like play the games. I don't really know why, but I think that he noticed that Ji-hoon was playing again, because what had happened was, how did he even get to the island again? Man, it was like, the cop walked in after him and the recruiter were in there, and then he decides, okay, let's help each other find this island. And they're like, okay, I'm going to put a tracker in my tooth, and then I'm going to get recruited. And then you just track me. And I was like, that is such a good idea. Like, that idea is so awesome. I love that. But then when he gets there and they're doing red light, green light, he checks his tooth. I don't know why he thought to check his tooth. I would have just thought that it was in there and they were on their way the whole time. But he thinks to check his tooth, and he checks and the tracking device is gone. And that was like a oh shit moment as a viewer for sure. That part was so crazy to me. So now he's like, well, now what do I do? So he like makes an announcement to all the people saying like, hey, if you move, you're gonna die. And people again are like, this guy's fucking crazy. Come to find out, he's not crazy. But guess what, guys? The games this season, minus red light, green light, are not the same as last season. And then we get introduced to a couple new characters. I don't want to like get into the whole synopsis of the show, which I was kind of starting to do, but I'm like, let's not do the whole thing. But that was like, I thought that was really, really good starting point. And then we have new characters. We have Thanos, who is annoying. I don't like him. I do have a friend that does like him. He listens to this podcast, so hi, thank you for listening. You're awesome. I don't know why he's likable, but whatever. I don't like him. He's just a douchebag to me. And then he is still alive at this point. Again, we're doing spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, like, just go watch it. There's a pregnant girl who I identify with, obviously, as another pregnant girl. And I like her. She's still alive, right? Yeah, she's alive. Her kid's dad is in there. Honestly, the way it ended was so... I couldn't think of another way for it to end. Because I just remember thinking, how is the front man gonna end this? He obviously doesn't want to kill his people and end the games. So it made sense for him to just kind of abruptly, like, fake his death and then be like, okay, guys, that's enough. Like, end this stuff to his people. And then killing the best friend in front of Ji-hoon. You could, I mean, he was playing him the entire time. If at any point you were like, oh, maybe the front man's changing his mind, like, no. Everything he did was to build trust. That was it. But yeah, I think he just saw Ji-hoon, and he probably saw two options. Option number one is, okay, this guy's going to try to end the games, so we should just kill him off. But option number two, which would be more fun to somebody that likes to play games, is to play a game of, let me see how much I can get him to trust me. And then shatter his dreams and be like, haha, you tried and you failed. And you didn't even come close, actually. As far as, like, to be honest, the way that I think is going to end is I don't think he will be able to successfully end the games. The reason why is because I think that this entire show has a deeper meaning of, like, the rich just getting richer and, like, sucking the life out of people at the bottom. And in order for that message to kind of be a little bit louder, it would almost have to, like, continue. Like, no matter how hard you try, if you're born at the bottom, you're gonna die at the bottom. And it's, like, really dark and twisted, but it's very true that most people, the tax bracket you're born into is the same one you die in, which is sad, but true. So that's how I think it's gonna end. As far as individual characters, I feel like Ji-hoon's gonna die. I do think that. I think the front man's gonna survive. I don't see hope with the message being sent. It would be awesome to, like, take over the rich and, like, you know, big fuck you from the people at the bottom, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the Squid Game season 2. I cannot wait till season 3. I heard a little rumor that the next season's gonna come out in June. I'm kind of hoping it's, like, next month, and I hope we get at least 5 episodes that are an hour long at least. But we will see. And maybe when the next season comes out, I can do, like, a series where we play some of the games. Who knows? That would be fun. I would be so bad at all. That's one thing, is I am really bad at games. Board games, video games. Like, there's nothing that I could be like, oh yeah, I'm, like, sick at, like, Donkey Kong or Pac-Man or Animal Crossing, which I don't even know how you're good at Animal Crossing. If you can imagine, it's kind of like making a bowl of cereal. That's how I feel about Animal Crossing. Because if you think making a bowl of cereal is easy, so AKA, if you think playing Animal Crossing is easy, I promise you I can fuck it up. Like, I promise. Like, some of the games that I played, Kingdom Hearts I've played, suck. I thought that I was good at it until I realized I was playing in beginner mode. Anyway, let's not get on that tangent. So the next thing on our list, because we talked about Squid Games, is going to be, let's talk about this response from Justin Baldoni. I want to make it very clear, I still do not trust Justin Baldoni. The only thing that this response did was, like, create a little bit of, like, mistrust in Blake Lively. To where now, I'm not really team Blake. I'm kind of team neither of them. I think they're just two celebrities that are fighting, and they probably both did something stupid. And I don't even think I took sides the last time I talked about it. I just didn't discount or disprove what Blake was saying. I still don't. But also, just because he did things to her allegedly doesn't mean she didn't have, like, anything, like, she was innocent, you know? So anyway, what I will say though is I want you guys to be really careful where you consume your content, because some people are stupid and they're going to say that they're like experts in an area and they're just not. And don't take people's words for everything. Like, always do your own research. Even me, like, I do my best to give you guys information that I believe is accurate. But even if I say something that doesn't make sense to you, or that you're kind of like, feel 100% free to not only go look it up yourself, but to comment in my video and be like, hey girl, like, you kind of got this wrong. Like, maybe da-da-da. And the next video, I'll fact check that shit. And I'll be like, you know what? Period. Like, I did get that wrong. And we'll talk, you know what I mean? I don't ever want to be the reason somebody, like, fully believes something, you know? And if I know something without a shadow of a doubt for a fact, I will emphasize that I know about it, okay? But for the most part, I go based off of, like, what I see on TikTok, and I try to see multiple sources. And I will tell you, there is this one TikToker who is an actual attorney. She is, let me see. I'm going to give you her user, because if you ever want to know anything when it comes to law, I trust her to the point where I won't even check her sources, which I don't advise. Always check your sources. But there was this one lady, not the one I'm about to talk about, but let me finish this. My ADHD. Hold on. Let me finish this thought. I was talking about a lawyer that I listened to on TikTok, and her name is it like Reb for the brand or something? I'm going to have to look her up. Reb for the rebrand. Okay. First of all, she's like really pretty. It matters more than just being pretty, like, but it helps when you're a content creator. And she's a lawyer. She's smart as shit. And it's funny because there was another girl on TikTok who made a video, and she was like, see, I told you guys, Justin just filed an actual lawsuit against Blake. So not what Blake did, because Blake filed something for the CDR. Because in order to sue somebody, you have to get, depending on what you're suing them for, you have to get a right to sue notice. And when you get that right to sue notice, then you can proceed to sue. Justin just skipped to suing because the things he was accusing Blake of, you don't need a right to sue notice for. Okay? But this lady was trying to say, see, Justin's telling the truth, and giving more validity to what he was saying, simply because the things he was accusing Blake of did not need a right to sue notice, which is bullshit. You cannot validate one person over the other just because they went a different route in the courts. Like, and the shit she was saying was just stupid, because I have my own knowledge in the court system, because I did study. I did do paralegal studies and administration of justice for 2 years of my life. So I know a little bit. I know enough to know when someone's full of shit when they're talking about court. Okay. And so I saw the response by Reb for the rebrand. I love it. I love the way she like ate her down, talking about basically what one of the things I said was like, you can't just say someone's telling the truth and someone's not because of the route they decided to take. Like, no, that's not how that works. So when it comes to like the Justin stuff and the Blake stuff, as far as I know, he filed something like back at her and kind of accusing her of being the one, like, no, she's actually the one that wanted me to be in the dressing room while she was breastfeeding. Well, she was the one that wanted to wear the sexy clothes. Like, again, there's two adults disagree on something, fighting in the courts. And we're going to have to just see how this one plays out. I think people that are just coming for either of them blindly, or like, I don't know. I still think everybody online shitting on Blake is like low-key just a girl hater. That's what I think. And then comparing her to, they were comparing it to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. Let me tell you guys something. Amber was so full of shit in those in those tapes. And you know what? Johnny could have been too. And this is my actual genuine thoughts. These are my thoughts on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I genuinely think they were both abusive. I do believe that she shit on his bed. I do believe that we heard videos of him getting a little aggressive, but in those videos, she knew she was recording. So of course she kept it calm, cool, and collected. I think that they both just shouldn't have been together. Like it's very true. They could have just both been like psycho, you know? I don't think either of them were innocent. I just think Amber was a more obvious liar throughout the whole thing, which amazes me because she's not a bad actress. People did idolize Johnny Depp a little bit too much. Like they were like fangirling him a lot during that period, which I mean, he honestly, I don't think either of them were innocent. I don't think either of them should have been worshipped for it. I just think she embarrassed herself a lot more than he did because he was the better. He had the better face, like the better front. Anyway, I think that relationship too, because it was so toxic, they both should have just walked away and not talked about it. Especially if they didn't want the other one to come out and talk about it. You know, so I think for her to try to orchestrate a smear campaign against him acting like she was innocent, I think was fucked up. And I think that's why he went to sue her, because he was like, you're not going to act like I was the only one being abusive. So those are my thoughts. Anyway, yeah, so I didn't really give much detail on Blake and Justin. I just wanted you guys to know, like, just be careful with the content you consume and who you trust, and check your sources and shit like that. Let me make sure there's nothing else in the TikTok news before I jump into... You guys hear TikTok is getting banned? I really hope it doesn't. Kita, you're so cute. I have a dog cam on my Consuming Crime. I don't have it on here because this is the third episode I'm recording in one day, and like my phone... Oh my god. And like my phone video storage is full. Kita, your breath. Oh my god. I love you so much. But you can see that like her whole mouth was just... Anyway. The 70,000 men... What the Okay, for those of you that do not know, let me actually look this up right now. Because I've only heard like bits and pieces of it, okay? So I'm going to go... What's a good source? I don't even know if I like any of these sources. Whatever, we'll just do Yahoo, okay? December 19th, this was posted. This is a while ago, okay. So, Telegram rape chat groups with up to 70,000 members uncovered. Thousands of men are participating in chat groups in which they share suggestions on how to rape and sexually assault women, a German investigation has revealed. The groups on an instant messaging service, Telegram, has as many as 70,000 members who mostly communicate with another in English and appear to come from a variety of countries. Users claim to have assaulted women in their household, including wives, partners, sisters, and mothers, and also shared instructions with others on how to do the same. Some in the group chats also shared pictures, while others posted live video of the assaults. In one instance, a German man said he would sedate his wife and offered her to other users. Okay. What the fuck, dude? Okay. All right. Let me gear up for this one. All right. Let's imagine for a second. There's like a bush, right? Every time you go into this bush, there's always like snakes in this bush. Like always. But like sometimes they bite you, and when they bite you, they are venomous. But most of the time, let's say 50%, they don't. Would you or would you not go into that bush? But don't forget, half the time they don't bite you. This is how it is when a man says, it's not all men. Okay, go into the fucking bush then. Go. And they wonder why we choose the bear. I actually had a conversation one time with a female about the man versus bear. And she was like, she was the only female that thought it was ridiculous that we would choose the bear. And I'm like, okay, you clearly don't watch TV or have never had, lucky you, a bad encounter with a man I have, and most women have as well, where they've either had one themselves or heard about it. Okay. And that's a lot, because the thing is, men can call us crazy, emotional, whatever. You don't hear stories about us just going around raping people, murdering people, and shit like that. Like, when we talk shit about men on the internet, usually doesn't involve us talking about ways to, like, hurt them. So, yeah, and this is my thing about the man versus bear conversation. You go into a forest, and let's say the statistics of a man or a bear attacking you is 50%. Okay, you can go with those odds with either one. However, if the man attacks you, he's going to rape you. There is no fucking way a man is sick in the head enough to kill you and then not also rape you, whether it's before or after you're dead. With the bear, at least if the 50% lands where it attacks you, you're just dead. The bear is not gonna fucking try to sexually assault you. And that's the problem, is like, I don't understand why it's so. And then the other thing too, did you guys notice how angry men got at women choosing the bear? Like, they became the exact man we wouldn't want to be in the forest with. They became the exact person we would choose the bear over when they found out our answer. And it's like, why do you care so much that now you're angry with women in general? Like, if they asked a question to men about, oh, would you rather... Oh, and then the comparison was, would you rather be in the forest with a bear or a woman? And the men were like, oh, because a bear, because the woman would nag us. Okay, see, that's so funny, because the men don't want to be nagged and the women don't want to be raped. Do you see kind of what I'm getting at? Anyway, we don't need to have the conversation of not all men. Not on this podcast. We don't. Because when you hear of a sexual assault case, what percentage of the time is the sexual assault a woman perpetrating on a man? What percent? Google it. And then come back. But yeah, it's just, we can't even get into that, honestly. Listen, I have met men that are so admirable and genuinely don't understand why another man would want to hurt a woman or a child or an animal, and are protectors. I have met men that are genuine protectors, that are like, they take pride in protecting women and children. But the risk in the dating world and on the street of it not being that man is understandable and is enough for most women to not want to date, to not want to go out to the clubs by themselves, to not want to go for a run after the sun goes down. And I have had encounters that were terrifying and close calls that maybe one day I will talk about on this podcast of mine. Not today, because I think we've already talked enough about this. But yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. I can't even believe that, honestly. It's crazy that it amazes me, especially considering all of the true crime I consume for my other podcast. I'm shocked that I'm shocked about the $70,000 men. And to the men that are making videos, like this gentleman right here, Big Zaddy Patty, cute nickname. This gentleman. I love you. I love you. And the fact that you're getting on here talking about these men, holding them accountable, means a lot. And I appreciate you and men like that. So it really helps like feelings of safety in women. And that's the hardest thing for us, is like, I don't want to speak for all women, but I'll just speak for myself. But that's one of the hardest things as a woman for me, is like being able to do things and function normally in society with such feelings of like danger lurking around the corner, especially at night. you know? Having to cover up your clothes and like, you know, every time I see a man like running at night with his shirt off and both headphones in, I'm like, you have no idea how lucky you are. But for the men that understand, you are appreciated, and I do see you, okay? Oh, we've already talked about Ashley Trevino. I don't really want to talk about her anymore. She's kind of annoying. However, I will say I have been watching the recaps. People doing the recaps on TikTok because they're entertaining, but just not enough for me to actually like make more about her. I will say though, she is no longer allowed to have her kids on camera. She didn't really say why, but she's not, which is probably a good thing. Because, yeah. All right, I can't really find anything else on here, so we're going to get into reality TV. And the only thing I really have, because honestly, I don't really want to talk about baddies because it's boring. Honestly, this season sucks. Oh my God, this season sucks so bad. It's boring. It's giving like fighting for screen time every single episode. Oh my God, wait, but Slim and Biggie. No, Slim and. Hello? Rolly. My brain was like. Slim. Okay, so maybe I will talk about baddies for just a second. Only Slim and Rolly. You guys, I want them to be friends again. Is this like a really stupid thing for me to think? Maybe. I just like to think, okay, I don't think Slim was crying for attention. I think she's genuinely hurt because she loves Rolly. I do believe that. I think they both took it too far. I don't know who did it first, but Slim should have never talked about Rolly's kid because I don't even, like, why are you talking about someone else's child? That is so crazy to me. But then Rolly shouldn't have said anything about Slim's father who has passed away. Like, they're both cut from the same cloth and they don't even realize it. That's probably why they were so close to begin with. The low blows, I think, is going to take a while to get over, but I'm hopeful because I've seen Rolly and Biggie come together. I'm hopeful that Biggie and Slim will be friends. Also, as to why nobody stopped the fight between Rolly and Slim, to me amazes me because the way she like mopped the floor with her, it was hard to watch. Like, it was really hard to watch. I think, did I talk about this in the last episode? I might have. But yeah, that was really hard to watch. That's all I have to say about baddies. Everyone else, I don't care about the newbies. Like, I cannot find it in my soul to give a shit about the newbies. I'm sorry. I just don't. So they need to have like one with just newbies every season and then one with like the OGs. You know what I mean? Because I love watching the OGs. I think they're so much fun. Although if it was just the OGs, I wonder if they would be fighting each other. I don't know. Because obviously I want to see some fights, but not that much. Like, chill out. Okay, so then that was baddies. That was like my quick thing about baddies. And then the last resort. What happened in this last episode, last resort? Natalie came and like apologized to the girls, which she's so fake. She is so fake. And I do not like Natalie. I cannot stand her. She is like the most anti-girls girl I've ever encountered in reality TV at the forefront of my mind right now. I just can't think of anybody else right now if there's someone else that beats her. She's number one. I love Jasmine. I can't believe the last resort changed my mind about Jasmine. Not that I ever disliked her. I just thought she was like crazy. She is crazy and she knows she is. She told Natalie herself. She's like, I'm crazy. I just love a girl's girl. I love a beautiful woman that is not threatened by other beautiful women. Those are my favorite type of women. My favorite. But yeah, so Natalie apologized and Sophie is just so, she keeps it so classy, you know? The only complaint I have about Sophie, because I love her, I really do love her so much, is like she needs to put in more effort with Rob. And I hate to say when it comes to their relationship, he has his faults for sure with like, I know he was unfaithful, talking to other women online, and that's fucked up. For sure. But I think at some point in the relationship, if she chose to forgive him, she should have just like forgiven him. However, I also don't think that she's ever fully processed what he did. And I think because of that, that's why it keeps coming up. So I think one, they should do therapy where she processes it and he allows her to, because he wants her to just get over it. And to a degree, I agree, but also you need to let yourself process things. You can't just be like, okay, you did this and I'm probably going to stay with you, so I'm just not going to think about it and we're good. No, if you can choose to stay after infidelity, work through the infidelity, and then at some point, yes, decide to let it go and not let it simmer in your relationship. Me personally, I can never let go of infidelity. I will hold on to it until I'm 6 feet under. So that's how I know when there's cheating, I need to leave. Because if I don't leave, I'm gonna torture this guy. Not physically, but like mentally. I just know myself. But if Sophie thinks she can let it go, then she needs to process it, whether on her own or with Rob. But yeah, I do wish she'd give a little bit more effort in the relationship. And I try to play devil's advocate. Like maybe she was acting kind of silly with the sex homework because of the cameras. But then she said in Between the Sheets episode that even after the cameras left, like nothing really changed. Which is like, I don't know. I'm curious to see what would happen if she really gave it a shot. Like not staying with her friend, actually trying to be intimate. Not necessarily sex, but there's definitely ways you can be intimate without engaging in intercourse. And I think even Rob would be satisfied with that for a little while. I just wish she would try harder. Anyway, with Julia and Brandon, you guys, I cannot wait for the episode where we find out about Julia cheating, because the more I watch The Last Resort, the less surprised I am that she ended up cheating on him, because she is definitely a flirt. I just thought she was flirty because she was fun, not because she was like a cheater. So when that episode comes out, we're definitely going to yap about it. Gino and Jasmine, her proposing an open relationship. To be honest, I don't think she wants an open relationship. I think she wants... Hear me out, because I'm getting somewhere. My brain's just taking a minute. I think she wants to open the door. So I think she wants the open relationship, right? But I think she's only saying she wants it, not because she wants to sustain that for a long period of time, but because she wants to open the door for somebody else maybe she's interested in. That way she can find out while still with Gino if this person is somebody she can like leave this person for. That makes sense. Cake and have your cake and eat it too, or have the safety net of Gino while also being allowed to be with this other person. That way, if this other person works out better than Gino, she could say, you know what, didn't work out, and she doesn't have to have any period of being alone. That's what I mean when I say I don't think she actually wants one. Like, she doesn't want one to fix her relationship with Gino. She wants one because she wants to open the door, talk to whoever. But it is getting to a point where Gino is not going to sleep with her. He is not going to put his pee-pee in her nunu, okay? So she needs to leave him and find somebody that... You know how many people there are out there that like having hate sex? Like, we just argued, I hate you, now I'm going to like sleep with you like you're somebody that I hate. That type of guy would be perfect for Jasmine. And he exists. I don't know if he's the biggest gentleman in the world, but he exists. But yeah, I don't know. Florian and Stacy, we didn't really have any drama with them. So not yet. And I don't know if there's any more couples I might... Oh, Natalie? Oh my god. I don't want to talk about Natalie and Josh. They're stupid. I already said what I said about Josh last week. He's just a cloud chaser, and not in a good way. And I don't know why Natalie falls for it. Is his like... Okay, I already said that last episode. But like... I don't know, whatever. They're weird. Anyway, I'm at like 43 minutes. That's all I have to yap about today. And I need to eat dinner before I go pick up my son. So... I'm going to skedaddle on out of here. Thank you guys for choosing me on the and chilling with me today. If you want to hear a true crime podcast, I have one. It's called Consuming Crime. It's on Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. That one is a little more popular. So if you go on Google and you type it, you'll actually find it in like the first link. This one, you got to like dig. I don't even know how any of you guys found me, honestly, sometimes, because you cannot find Chisme and Chill on Google. But thank you guys so much for the support. I love all of you. If you're on Spotify, follow, like, comment, YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, all of it. And then, yeah, until next week, thank you for chismeando and chilling with me today. Que tengan un buen día.